The Fever beat the Sparks by the skin of their teeth, and everything about this game was nuts. Kayla ready to run the floor, fam. She's like, no, what is this, man? What is this nonsense? The way that Caitlin Clark responded, this was her response when they actually called the reset timeout. She couldn't believe it. Where it's like they immediately call her MAGA because she said a referee was trying to give the game to the Sparks. The Indiana Fever's latest game against the Sparks ended in pure chaos. Sydney Colson tweeted out yesterday, and it's got to the stage where the Indiana Fever are now joking and are just assuming they're going to be fine. Questionable referee decisions, missed calls, and a wild finish had fans and players outraged. The Fever beat the Sparks by the skin of their teeth, and everything about this game was nuts. The showdown between the Indiana Fever and the Los Angeles Sparks was supposed to be just another late-season battle, but it quickly turned into a game defined by controversy. Kelsey Mitchell's whistle last night was horrific. And Kelsey drove to the basket a lot. She is the type of person that just goes through a lot of defenders, and she wasn't getting a call. This really was not her game. From the opening minutes, the officiating felt lopsided, with a Fever repeatedly driving into contact and getting no calls. The most glaring example came with Kelsey Mitchell. Time and time again, she attacked the basket, absorbed heavy contact, and yet the whistle stayed silent. Existence, I'm going to need Kelsey Mitchell to get the same whistle as other stars. The way she gets assaulted is insane, and I'll actually consider roping my sister in to have her office pursue charges. For a player who sits near the top of the league in scoring, not getting the same respect as other stars was impossible to ignore. But it wasn't just Mitchell. She ended up coming away with 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 6 steals, which is a career high. Aaliyah Boston, who eventually had a monster stat line with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and a career-high 6 steals, also faced stretches where calls simply weren't coming her way. And last night, Lexi Hull took her rightful place right next to Sophie Cunningham. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and the queen of the tech committee, Steph White. Even Lexi Hull, one of the most composed players in the league, ended up picking up her first technical of the season after boiling over at how poorly the Fever were being treated. Super odd ending where the referee allowed 2 fouls, 1 reset timeout with only 1. 9 seconds left on the clock. AB put on a masterclass after starting out really cold. Odyssey Sims, well, we'll talk about that later. This was not Kelsey Mitchell's night. But first, I want to get to the referees because I swear to God, there is one referee. We definitely have to check for betting slips for this guy right here. I think his name is like Onagazi because it sure seemed like he did not want to let the Fever take away this win, making the last one, 9 seconds last almost 5 minutes. He was just letting them call a reset timeout, and then he was like, no. It's a foul. The chaos peaked in the final 9 seconds of the game. Instead of letting the clock wind down, the referees inserted themselves in baffling ways, allowing a reset timeout, then flipping the call into a foul situation, essentially stretching a couple seconds into almost 5 minutes. Fans watching were stunned. Players were livid, and even Caitlin Clark herself couldn't hold back. The way that Caitlin Clark responded, this was her response when they actually called the reset timeout. She couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe it. So they do inbound the ball, and then Rickea Jackson gets it, passes it over to Kelsey, who kind of loses it. AB grabs it and saves the game. Cameras caught her throwing her hands up in disbelief, then later walking straight to the officials post-game to make her feelings known. It was clear to everyone this wasn't just sloppy officiating. It felt like the refs were doing everything possible to tilt the game away from Indiana. And that's exactly what pushed Sydney Colson to take her frustration public, setting off the firestorm that followed. Even Sid Colson took to Twitter to talk about it, saying, "At a certain point in the league's existence, I'm going to need Kelsey Mitchell to get the same whistle as other stars. The way she gets assaulted is insane, actually, and I've considered roping my sister in to have her pursue charges." After the final buzzer, Sydney Colson wasted no time voicing what so many inside the Fever locker room were already thinking. She took to social media and fired off a message that instantly went viral. "I'm a need for Kelsey Mitchell to get the same whistle as other stars. The way she gets assaulted is insane. I've considered roping my sister in to have her office pursue charges. At a certain point in this league's existence, I'm going to need Kelsey Mitchell to get the same whistle as other stars. The way she gets assaulted is insane. And I've considered roping my sister in to have her office pursue charges." She's just really funny, kind of cracking jokes here and there. And although this was pretty funny, there was a tone of seriousness, like calling out the referees, because the way that the Indiana Fever has been officiated, I think she finally understands from being on the team. And I'm telling you, this team sticks together. Now, Colson is known for her humor, but this time the sarcasm carried a sharp edge. What might have looked like a joke was really a stinging critique of officiating that has held the Fever back all season, and fans knew it. Where it's like they immediately call her MAGA because she said a referee was trying to give the game to Sparks. The referee was trying to give the game to Sparks, and she's there clapping back at these fans, and these are the people that would have been so much pro. Within minutes, the replies blew up. Some accusing her of changing since joining the Fever. Others mocking her choice of words, even labeling her with terms like maggot for daring to call out refs. You see, it is right here. Caitlin, careful, you're going to get fined. Somebody responds, I will pay it. Lyndon responds, agree, I will help with the fine. Caitlin, love it. Everyone listened to Lynn. But inside the Fever family, the reaction was the complete opposite. Teammates and staff rallied around her. Even Caitlin Clark jumped into the conversation, replying with a warning that said it all. Careful, you're going to get fined. It was a moment of truth. Sid Colson is Sid Colson. Sid Colson has terminal Twitter fingers. She has legitimately not changed one bit this season and from any other season. Clark knew the league's track record, and she wasn't wrong. The Fever have been fined more than almost any other team this season, often for the smallest comments about officiating. Colson, though, didn't back down. She doubled down instead, clapping back at critics and making it clear she was done staying quiet. After the game, Caitlin Clark actually goes out on the court and definitely gives the ref a piece of her mind. But AB, wow, first off, she started out super cold. The first quarter looked really bad. Caitlin Clark's quick response to Sydney Colson, careful, you're going to get fined, wasn't just a friendly warning. It revealed the deeper reality inside the WNBA. When it comes to the Indiana Fever, the league seems ready to hand out fines and punishments at the drop of a hat. The whole game was just ugly, and it was just brick after brick after brick. The third quarter, Indiana only scored 13 points. The Sparks only scored 11. It was pretty nasty, but then Aaliyah Boston went to work. Players on other teams can vent frustrations, but when it's a Fever player, especially someone aligned with Clark, the consequences are swift and harsh. The chatter now isn't only about fines. With Colson doubling down against referees and fans accusing her of changing since joining the Fever, the fear of an even harsher punishment like suspension has crept into the conversation. Kayla ready to run the floor, fam. She's like, no, what is this, man? What is this nonsense? Then they put 0-1 on the shot. 1 on the shot clock, fam. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? After all, this isn't the first time the Fever have been targeted. Sophie Cunningham was fined simply for suggesting another player had a favorable whistle. Even Lexi Hall picked up a technical foul in frustration at the constant no calls. The pattern is undeniable. Indiana is held to a different standard. Oh my goodness, man. They did everything they could to try to get them a win in this one, fam. It's ridiculous. Caitlin Clark, though, isn't running from the storm. By stepping into the conversation, she signaled two things. She's aware of how real the risk is for Colson, and she's determined to stand behind her teammate. Anyway, my prediction would be that they've had double-digit fines, but this entire interaction just sums up how the Indiana Fever feel about the referees, about the finding situation, about everything. That leadership matters. Clark has become the symbol of the Fever's fight, not just against opponents, but against a system that feels stacked against them. And her warning wasn't meant to silence Colson. It was meant to show just how high the stakes are when you speak out. What's important to understand is that Colson's criticism of the refs isn't an isolated moment. It's part of a bigger battle that traces back to Caitlin Clark herself. She went on to say, waking up hating like this is scary, but have a blessed day. So, this person said, life my butt says Kelsey Mitchum and Star don't belong in the same sentence. Wow, she went in. Ever since she entered the league, the old guard of WNBA fans, and even some players have seemed determined to tear down anyone associated with her. As one breakdown put it, the attacks on Colson only began once she became Caitlin's teammate. The bias isn't just about whistles. It's about control, about who gets to shape the future of the league. And yet, instead of dividing the Fever, this pressure has pulled them tighter. As transcripts revealed, the team knows the refs, the league, and even parts of the fan base are against them. He's been a part of it all year, man. Oh my goodness. What was his name? Jack, what? What'd you say? Agunabazi. Man, this man is diabolical work to the WNBA. He's betting somebody get the shame bail. But that's forged a powerful us against the world mentality. Colson's tweet, Clark's warning, Boston's dominance, Hull's fire. Together, these moments prove the Fever aren't backing down. If anything, every unfair whistle and every threat of punishment is just making them stronger. How many, fans have turned on Natasha Howard that maybe weren't her fans, and suddenly they're Tash Howard haters? At the end of the day, this isn't just about one tweet or one game. It's about a team refusing to be silenced. Sydney Colson called out the truth. Caitlin Clark backed her with a warning. It took them 5 minutes to complete 6 seconds of a shot clock. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? This is nonsense. Absolute nonsense, man. Straight up cheating. Come on, dog. Let us have it. Now, honestly, it was this dude right here. Okay, it was this dude right here. And from what I've seen, the man has been a part of controversial calls all year. And together, the Fever showed they won't bow to unfair treatment. If the league thinks suspensions or fines will break them, they're mistaken. This group is united, fired up, and ready to prove that no amount of referee bias can stop what they're